66 million years ago, the dinosaurs' world looked peaceful from space. Calm oceans,
For them, it was just another day. Hunting, feeding, raising young, completely unaware that a rock
far beyond the dinosaur sky, in the outer reaches of the solar system, a primitive carbon-rich asteroid.
Geochemical clues today suggest the impactor formed beyond Jupiter, among dark carbon.
For eons, it was just one rock among countless others. Only in its final moments did it become the bullet aimed at our world.
Roughly 10 kilometers across, traveling more than 20 kilometers per second, it carried more energy than billions of nuclear bombs combined.
Below, in the tropical shallows of what is now Mexico's Yucatan, life went on as usual.
And then, in less than a fraction of a human heartbeat on the cosmic clock, the asteroid slammed into shallow ocean near the Yucatán Peninsula.
As it hit the atmosphere, air compressed and heated faster than it could escape, turning sky and stone into a single roaring fireball.
At impact, rock, water, and atmosphere vaporized in an instant, excavating a crater nearly 200 kilometers wide and punching straight into the crust.
Shock waves blasted through the crust, shattering rock, folding the seafloor, and raising a central peak ring. The structure.
We're now in the first seconds after impact. A column of superheated rock and vapor erupts upward, punching far into the upper atmosphere.
In less than a minute, the plume blossoms into a towering mushroom cloud, ringed with lightning and encircled by a shock front racing at supersonic speed.
Anything within hundreds of kilometers is killed almost instantly, shattered by the blast, crushed by flying debris, or literally cooked by thermal radiation.
Near the crater, dinosaurs don't have time to be confused. They die in seconds, in a flash brighter than any lightning storm they'd ever seen.
Below the surface, water is blown away from the impact point, leaving a temporary void that collapses back, launching a colossal tsunami in all directions. Simulations show that within minutes, a wave several kilometers high forms near the crater, evolving into a megatsunami that races across ancient oceans.
In the first few minutes, the ejecta curtain and collapsing cavity drive waves estimated at several kilometers high near the impact.
By about 10 minutes after impact, a tsunami more than 1,000 meters tall is roaring outward, ready to...
On nearby shores, the first sign isn't a wave, but a sudden, unnatural retreat of the sea. Water races.
Minutes later, the ocean returns with unimaginable force, a wall of water racing inland, uprooting forests and flinging giant animals. The first minutes alone are enough to erase entire ecosystems around the impact site, from the seafloor to the highest ridges. Surface waves ripple through Earth's crust, shaking distant shelves within minutes, triggering undersea landslides and adding more energy to the global tsunami.
Modern simulations show that the Chicxulub tsunami traversed most of the world's oceans, with devastating wave heights.
Is nothing. At the same time, trillions of tons of rock and sulfide material are blasted to the upper atmosphere beyond.
Many of those fragments cool into tiny glass beads called spherules, arcing high before falling back through the atmosphere worldwide.
As they re-enter, these particles heat the air, turning the sky into a broiler that can ignite forests across entire continents.
In the hours after impact, infrared radiation from re-entering ejecta likely sparked global firestorms.
Today, we find a thin layer of impact debris and iridium-rich dust all over the world, marking that moment when Earth changed course forever. Shocked quartz, melted spherules, and rare elements like iridium all tell the same story. A hypervolcano.
Within the first hour, the local world around Chicxulub is destroyed. Tsunamis are launched. Far from ground zero, dinosaurs don't die instantly. Their last minutes begin with strange ash and soot start to drift down. Fires creep along the horizon, and the world grows hotter and darker at the same time. In days to weeks, dust, aerosols, and soot thrown into the atmosphere begin to block sunlight, plunging Earth into a long, cold twilight. With sunlight choked off, photosynthesis stalls. Plants struggle, plankton die, and the base of food chains starts to collapse.
In the oceans, microscopic plankton, the foundation of marine ecosystems, decline, dragging fish.
On land,
Herbivorous dinosaurs starve as plants fail, and soon their predators follow. Drilling into the Chicxulub crater today reveals the sequence of events locked in stone. From the violent breccias...
These cores let us reconstruct not just the impact itself, but how quickly life vanished and then slowly returned in the crater's aftermath.
Isotopes and trace metals in these layers suggest the impactor was a carbonaceous asteroid from the outer solar system, though its exact path remains debated.
Some evidence points to fragments from the outer asteroid belt, others to bodies formed beyond Jupiter, reminding us.
What is clear is that this was a global event. One thin boundary layer, rich in impact debris, marks.
Roughly 3/4 of species vanish, including all non-avian dinosaurs and many marine creatures.
Every bird you hear today is a living dinosaur, a direct descendant of survivors that made it through the impact winter and rebuilt their world.
In the long shadow of extinction, mammals and birds move into empty niches, setting the stage for...
At Universe Unlocked, we see events like this not just as disasters, but as turning points in the grand...
Without the Chicxulub impact, dinosaurs might have remained dominant, and creatures like us might never have appeared at all.
Today, small rocks still hit Earth all the time. Most burn up, a few reach the ground, but nothing...
NASA and other agencies now track thousands of near-Earth asteroids, mapping their orbits and searching...
Dedicated surveys scan the sky night after light, looking for faint moving points of light. The same kind of...
Inside Dartwall mission showed Donahud Wisart to Lal asteroid Shroon gleated selected departure threat is not spot just Australian.
The good news, we found most of the kilometer-scale asteroids near Earth. The bad news, smaller ones can still...
Not every impact is an extinction-level event. It takes a very specific combination of size, speed...
Today, the crater is hidden beneath jungle and sediment, but its circular scars still shape the landscape and coastline if you know where to look.
The famous cenotes, water-filled sinkholes, trace the crater's rim. Quiet blue reminders of a moment.
From first contact to global chaos, models and rock records now let us replay that day in vivid detail, minute by minute.
Elite. In just the first hour, millions of square kilometers are devastated, and the chain reaction that...
Models of wildfire spread suggest huge regions burned, filling the atmosphere with enough soot to plunge the world into cold, long-lasting darkness.
Over years, ash and dust settled, bones were buried, and the story of that day was locked away in rock.
Paleontologists now read that rock record like a crime scene, piecing together how fast species vanished and which ones survived the chaos.
The KPG boundary marks one of the 5 great mass extinctions in Earth's history. This one, ending the reign of dinosaurs.
It's strange to realize that the comforts of our modern world are built on top of a catastrophe that cleared the stage for our ancestors.
We move from ancient extinctions to alien worlds, from deep time to deep space.
Simulations and drilling campaigns now let us time travel, not with a machine, but with physics and geology, to replay the first minutes after impact.
We can watch craters form, tsunamis launch, and shock waves propagate, comparing each model to the rocks beneath our feet. The contrast is staggering. A thriving biosphere on one side of the clock, a shattered landscape on the other.
Studying this ancient disaster is not just about dinosaurs. It's about understanding our planet's vulnerabilities and how
The same tools we use to reconstruct Chicxulub help us model future threats and design strategies to avoid replaying that day with humans on the surface.
the more we watch the sky, the less likely a dinosaur-scale surprise becomes, and the more time we'll...
For many of us, the dinosaurs are the first big what happened in science.
They were real animals living real lives until a rock from beyond Jupiter's orbit rewrote their fate and ours. In the millions of years after the impact, life adapted, diversified, and eventually produced primates, then humans, then you watching this video.
The crater is silent now, but the universe hasn't stopped throwing rocks.
That journey, from the dinosaurs' last minutes to our possible futures, is exactly what Universe Unlocked is here to explore. We'll look at other existential threats and cosmic wildcards, always asking the same question. If you could freeze time a fraction of a second before impact, would you change it, knowing that without it, we might not be here at all? Extinctions feel cruel up close, but over deep time they reshaped the tree of life, pruning branches so new ones can grow. Those first minutes after impact weren't just the end of the dinosaurs. They were the opening chapter of the world we live in now. Understanding that story doesn't just satisfy curiosity, it helps us see how fragile and how precious our own chapter really is.
The same galaxy that watched that asteroid fall now watches us build telescopes, run simulations.
It takes impact physics, geology, climate science, and astronomy all working together to unpack the first minutes of a disaster.
For dinosaurs, those minutes were everything.
Out of that chaos came survival, adaptation, and eventually intelligence, the ability to look back and understand what happened.
If you want to keep unlocking stories like this, from dinosaur death days to distant alien worlds, hit subscribe.
Could it happen again? In principle, yes. But this time, one species is watching the sky and learning from the past.
The first minutes after the impact nearly ended complex life, but they also set the stage for everything that came after, including you. This is Universe Unlocked, where we turn cosmic disasters, deep time, and distant worlds into stories that make the universe finally make sense.